Yo, what up, though? This is your boy Chris B back at it again. And this time we are in the final stretches of 4 weeks of Christmas. So I meant to put this video out on Wednesday, but with the holidays and Christmas coming the next day, I figured that, everybody was trying to be prepared and get everything together for that day. So I decided to wait until today to put this one out. And today we're going to be talking about basically my feelings on Die Hard. You know what I'm saying? Like my opinions and everything like that. This is not going to be a formal review where I'm going to be talking about scene by scene, but because I'm pretty sure at this point everybody and their grandmother has seen this movie. But without further ado, hey, let's get into it. So as y'all know, the movie stars Bruce Willis. And believe it or not, I believe this is his first action role. You know what I'm saying? Because before this, he was doing comedy and things like that. So when they cast him for this movie, you know, the original poster art for this movie, they didn't they the I guess it was the upper, echelon or upper the powers that be, you know what I'm saying, didn't want to put him on the poster because I guess they didn't believe that he could sell the movie, even though he's the star of the movie. Because before this, he was in what's that movie? Two Men and a Baby. I think that's what it is. I haven't seen it, but he was doing stuff like that. I guess romance films and things of that nature. But after he did this movie, hey, it went from who is this guy? What is this guy doing in these type of movies? To yo, you need to put him in the next Die Hard and the following Die Hard and the Die Hard after that. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things. But this movie it has a lot of familiar faces to it. You got Alan Rickman as the villain. I don't know why I can't talk today. You know what I'm saying? You got him as the villain, and then you got Reginald Vell Johnson. Everybody know who that is. Carl Winslow, aka Al Powell, in this movie. Um, who else was in this movie? You got old buddy from the Breakfast Club that played the principal. He was in this movie too. He played the police chief. And just looking at him, I don't know. I figured he was kind of a dunce a little bit because while Al, while he was on the walkie-talkie talking to John most of the time, you know what I'm saying? And when he came into the picture, you know, he didn't believe whatsoever that John over the walkie-talkie was, trying to help the situation. He thought that he was just, playing Al, you know what I'm saying? Or Officer Powell. But nah, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? And Al Powell was trying to, let him know, like, look, this dude is basically fighting a one man war. You know what I'm saying? Like it's him versus these terrorists. And the police chief wasn't trying to hear it. You know what I mean? So it was just the way he came off, and I felt like mm-mm. He should have lost that position, man. Now you got the two FBI agents in this movie. I forgot what their names are in real life, but I know the black dude he plays Balrog in Street Fighter, the 1994 movie. The other guy, he was in some shit too. But so when I was watching this movie, they got into the chopper and they was trying to kill John. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. Me personally, I was, because I was walking around doing stuff, but I was watching it at the same time, so I was trying to multitask. So I would like, I'm not sure if they were working for Hans Gruber, or they genuinely thought that John McClane was one of the terrorists. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that I didn't catch. Even though I've seen this movie more than one time, it's just that for some reason that part had me scratching my head. You know what I'm saying? So because they was in the chopper trying to shoot him down. You know what I mean? But this movie has some comedic moments as well. You know what I mean? Like the scene where he's calling in trying to get backup or whatever, and the dispatchers was telling him like they thought that he was playing on the radio or whatever, and he got pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, that was a comedic. That was like a comedic moment. You know what I mean? Um, Now Alan Rickman, can't talk. Alan Rickman's character Hans Gruber, he was a vicious, cold, psychopathic killer. You know what I mean? Like he had a calm demeanor, but at the same time, if you crossed him, he was gonna put a bullet in your head with no hesitation. He kind of reminds me of the villain from Passenger 57. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it was one guy in the party who kept trying to, talk to John McClane's wife. You know what I mean? And he was a dope head as well. I just had to put that out there. But so he was one of those cocky dudes, and he thought that he could get John to basically come out and expose himself. So when he went to Hans, you know what I'm saying, to try to help the situation, uh John, it kind of backfired on him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was pissed that old boy was trying to basically turn him into them. You know what I mean? And so when that situation didn't work, when that idea didn't work, because he came in cocky thinking, okay, yeah, I made $1 million deals before. Surely I could convince Hans to do this and do that. You know what I mean? But when it didn't work, he got his head blown off instantly. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, he was kind of insufferable, man. I didn't like him. So I was kind of glad that, that character got taken out, you know what I mean? Because he was annoying, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? This movie has a lot of gunfire. Like a lot of gunfire. And the one thing that this movie is really known for is the scene where, because the whole time John McClane is, running through the building with no shoes on and just a tank top. And so there was a scene where Hans and one of his henchmen shot out all these windows. You know what I'm saying? They just shot them all out because they knew that it would be difficult for John to walk around if there was glass all over the floor, which was smart as hell though. I got to give it to him. That was intelligent. So, John said, bump that, started walking through the glass, and you see him dragging himself into the next room with like just blood everywhere under his feet. You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna lie, I felt that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how it is stepping on glass by accident. But yeah, man. This movie deserves its R rating too. Like, there's a scene where one of the henchmen got both his kneecaps shot out. You know what I'm saying? I thought that joint was vicious. But yo, the gunplay in this movie is just ridiculous, man. Like, and then you had, Al Powell once again the whole time while John McClane is in the building trying to save himself and everybody else. He was down at the bottom because at first he didn't believe nothing was happening because it was quiet around the building when he first got there until they started shooting at his car. And the only reason why they started shooting at his car because one of the henchmen had fell out, fell through the window and landed on top of his car. Sorry, y'all. That's my lady in the background messing with pots and pans and all that. But yeah, the guy landed on top of the car, and so this is when Al Powell, finally realized something wasn't right, and then they started shooting at his car, and then he reversed, he backed up too much and fell like his car had went over the side And then, he was basically hanging out of, so he survived by a hair. You know what I'm saying? He shot out his windows and just shot the whole car up. And then from that point on, him and John got cool over the walkie talkies. You know what I'm saying? Which was, I kind of like that though. I like those moments where they were talking. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't just him giving John directives because he was a cop. You know what I'm saying? They were having personal conversations and things like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this movie was excellent. And I think I'm gonna watch the second one after this review because I haven't seen it. I think I've seen the second one maybe one time, and it's been so many years. So I'm gonna definitely give that a watch. So the last part of the movie, right? Y'all know when Hans is hanging over the side of the building where, he was trying to pull his wife over with him. And John, he had managed to get her free because he was about to shoot both of them, but he wound up falling. You know what I'm saying? I forgot how many feet he was high, you know what I'm saying, up, like how high he was up there, but behind the scenes while they were filming this particular scene right here, right? If you look at his face, like if you look at Han's face when he fell from the building, you see it in slow motion. That was genuine terror because they were supposed to let him go on the count of three, but I think they counted to two and then let him go. And they said after that scene, he was pissed. That's why they shot that scene last. You know what I mean? And I got that little piece of info from Minty Comedic Arts. Shout out to him over there, by the way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. If you haven't seen the movie Die Hard, I don't know where the hell you been for the past 37 years, 38 years, 37 years. This movie came out in 88. I don't know where you been, but if you haven't seen it, watch it. Watch it on Blu-ray, watch it on DVD, VHS. I don't know if it's on Laserdisc, but if it is, watch it on there. Hell, you gotta watch. This is one of those movies you gotta watch before you die. You know what I mean? Like Die Hard is a certified classic, and I will give this movie 8.5 out of 10. You know what I mean? But that's my review for Die Hard. I appreciate y'all for listening to my rambling and my jumbled up words. I don't know why I can't talk today, but hey, it is what it is. Once again, this is your boy Chris B, and I am closing out the 4 weeks of Christmas. And I hope everybody has a happy new year and stay safe. All right? Peace.